You want to be on top?
Get up in back of the girls and jump up and down and hysterically laugh and look at me and do it.
God.
No, God, do it. Keep it going.
You want to be on top?
You really crossed the line.
They argued that even when provoked, models should defuse situations with professionalism, using feminine charm to counter male models' advances.
As a huge fan and viewer of America's Next Top Model, I loved seeing girls that I could relate to. Small town girls going off to these amazing cities like New York and LA and then eventually international to live out their modeling dream, being exposed to fashion, being able to get coached. But I also remember the more controversial moments, like the photo shoots, makeovers that were extreme and even painful, and of course, all of the unhinged moments like this one.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
Today, we're uncovering the most inspirational and controversial moments of America's Next Top Model. Welcome to Her Millennial Mind. My name is Kayla. I'm a millennial and I have a lot on my mind. Today we're uncovering the most problematic and inspirational moments of America's Next Top Model. Yes. First up, what is America's Next Top Model? Also known as ANTM. America's Next Top Model is a reality competition series that premiered on May 20th, 2003. The series focused on following aspiring models competing for the title and a career-launching prize package. That included a $100,000 prize package with CoverGirl Cosmetics. The show was created and hosted by iconic, legendary supermodel Tyra Banks. People magazine states that Tyra Banks is a former supermodel, TV host, and producer. Her modeling career took off in 1990 after landing a contract with Elite Model Management while in high school. You know, Tyra Banks and America's Next Top Model have had a negative spotlight surrounding them, but as we talk about America's Next Top Model specifically today, you know, we're gonna go over some controversies and some negative elements, but we have to give this woman her flowers and we have to really understand the true scope of things. Not all things were bad. She has made her mark and she has really built a legacy around America's Next Top Model, around the fashion industry, through her businesses, through her talk shows. T-Zone is another way that she has given back and has built a really amazing and impactful career. So as we discuss things today, we got to keep it balanced. So first up, we're going to look at the inspirement of America's Next Top Model. I don't even know if that is a word, but today it is, honey. Boom. Okay, clock it. The fashion industry is very fabulous, but it's also elite. It's inaccessible. So America's Next Top Model literally created a door of access for everyday girls to get into the fashion industry and get the exposure that they may have never had without the show. America's Next Top Model would hold open calls to anyone that was interested. And anyone, I mean anyone. I actually went to an open call in Lexington, Kentucky, or Louisville, Kentucky. Clearly didn't get it, but just going through that experience of auditioning, it was amazing seeing girls and women of all ethnicities, all shapes and sizes. And as we see through the seasons, it expands further. Throughout the different seasons of America's Next Top Model, Tyra expanded the contestants to different heights. She had a dedicated short cycle. That's the one that I applied for because I'm itty bitty. And I'm definitely not as statuesque as I would like to be, honey, but let me sit up straight. Posture balance. And then also different sizes. I love how she positively framed plus size 2 with fiercely real. That right there, just how you are speaking about a different type of model in the industry and to the public, to the media. So the fact that she wanted to refer to models of a different size, curvier, or more voluptuous as fiercely real, something positive, something like, yes, honey, go girl. Like, that was amazing right there. She also had different backgrounds. And I mean, it was so eye-opening hearing so many of the contestants' different stories. Some come from really difficult backgrounds, but being able to be seen and have a platform and have a chance and have that opportunity was amazing. And we can't talk about the impact and creating opportunity in America's Next Top Model without talking about Isis King.
You were the diva in Cycle 10's first photo shoot at the homeless shelter. You were one of the girls from the shelter who participated in our shoot in the background as an extra. Let's face it, there's a reason you're here, because you know how to give me couture and yeah.
And I just loved the vibe and the energy and the vibrance around America's Next Top Model, from the theme song to just, you know, talking about smizing. Still working on it. To seeing all the amazing guest spots, the guest judges, Nigel Barker's fine self, and Mr. J is fine too. It's a lot of fine men. There was this one photographer and director, Francesco Corsini, fine. Mike Rosenthal, fine. Just a lot of fine. Fierce, walking the runway in a bubble. And of course, easy, breezy, beautiful CoverGirl. One of my favorite CoverGirl commercials was from Rhonda. They were walking into this chaotic party scene and they had to come up and, you know, just kind of improv and do a good time while having the product ready to go. She said, "Parties can be so unpredictable, but your makeup doesn't have to be." I said, girl, clock it. That right there, that line, that was so good. And I got to give her flowers in that moment. Yes, Rhonda. America's Next Top Model contestants did go on to have successful careers. So there are a lot of success stories there. From those that won their cycles, like Eva Marcel or Danielle Evans, to those that didn't, like Yaya DaCosta, Allison Harvard, Winnie Harlow. So now that we've looked at some of the inspirement of America's Next Top Model, let's look at the unhinged and controversial. Aghast, clutch the invisible pearls. Business Insider reports that a model who appeared on Cycle 9 of America's Next Top Model, Sarah Hartshorn, stated that they were only paid $38 per day, and this went towards their meals. So you have to think this is laying the foundation for chaos. The models only have $38 per day and they're in big cities, so it's expensive, and especially to probably get quality meals. So the models are probably hungry, they're probably tired, and that can create agitation and that psychological warfare. And that's exactly what the producers want, because conflict creates great TV. America's Next Top Model Cycle 4 with Kaylin. The photo shoot theme was 7 Deadly Sins, and Kaylin was tasked with posing inside of a grave. However, shortly before the photo shoot, Kaylin was informed that one of her friends had passed away suddenly.
Do you need a minute, like to start hair and makeup?
Yeah.
I have to give so much credit to Kaylin because she pushed through this moment. It was really heartbreaking to watch. I think she was so real for sharing that moment and sharing what happened. She killed that photo shoot. She was a perfect example of how you can channel, you know, whether it's grief, anger, whatever you're feeling, into your art or into your craft. So I commend her greatly. I'm so sorry that she experienced that. Condolences to you to this day. She owned that moment. I feel like the show was trying to use her in that conflict to own that situation, but she owned it. There are a lot of other photo shoots that were dangerous and involved conquering different fears. I remember there was a jewelry ad with like a tarantula, that fuzzy spider. And I remember Eva being terrified, but she pushed through. So there's this common theme with putting the models and contestants into these situations that are psychologically taxing. They're facing these different fears, and I think that's all a part of the vetting process. Like, they want to know your fears so they can put you in situations where you have to confront them. It's like America's Next Top Model with elements of fear factor. Like, what the heck? Doing runway shows from, you know, way up in the air on this tiny, like 12-inch runway. Walking in runway shows with like fire in your hands. These just really really like extreme situations, photo shoots and runway. Outside of the photo shoots and the runway shows, there were several other problematic moments, like the makeovers. One in particular, it's crazy because I feel like the makeover is like related, but they're two separate seasons. So Danny had a natural gap, and that was part of her signature, part of her uniqueness. And they wanted to close the gap, which one, it's painful. I've never had that done, but I'm sure it's extremely painful. And two, it's stripping Danny of her uniqueness. And I feel like that's probably why she got chosen, amongst other things. Like, she's beautiful and talented and just like has it all going on. But that gap helped her stick out. So I found it so weird that they wanted to strip her of what makes her stand out. And in the modeling industry, especially in a competition like this, you want to stand out. You want to keep standing out. So why take what makes her stand out away from her? And I commend her for defending that. She's like, this is what's going to help set me apart. This is what's going to, help me stand out. And I think one of the judges said, oh, well, she just left the gap open for another girl to win or another girl to do that. And Tyra agreed to that. And I'm just like, what? Because later on in cycle 15, Chelsea, they wanted to widen her gap.
So they're closing gaps, they're widening gaps, they're creating gaps.
That thought process and the thoughts, like, what are we doing? Like, it just is, it's unhinged. During the earlier seasons of America's Next Top Model, supermodel Janice Dickinson was one of the judges. And she was seen as one of the more outspoken and controversial judges. She definitely had some opinions about one of the contestants, Robin's body.
Just call it as it is. Robin, first of all, is too old to be starting modeling.
She's huge. She's not going to be a top model.
She won't. That's
she
the
should
reality.
work for our toppling company. I think that you guys are the problem with America. I think you are the problem of why women are leaning over the toilets at this very moment and vomiting after they've eaten.
My sin was gluttony. It was just like gluttony, like, I'm greedy, I'm hungry, like, rah.
Yeah. Bacon fat?
This photo is really beautiful, Kenya, but I hate to say it. They had to do a lot of body work on you and retouching.
At home, pretty much, I try to, eat right. And we come here, my metabolism, everything is thrown off.
Stop! If you're sporting a gut, then you turn to the side and disguise it. Kenya, in the real world, you're a thin girl. But the fashion industry is so extreme, and I would love to change the rules, but until that happens, I think it's all about choices, Kenya. You can get a burger and take the bread off. I make it work when I have to.
Thank you.
Now, I can eat whatever the hell I want. They'll retouch it.
Looking at other problematic and unhinged moments during America's Next Top Model, we cannot forget we are all rooting for you with Tiffany. So this unhinged moment comes from America's Next Top Model Cycle 4, Episode 1, where Tyra is screaming at contestant Tiffany, really frustrated by her lack of passion. During the challenge, they had to act as a fashion correspondent reading a teleprompter. Tiffany didn't even really try, and she kind of gave up before she started. The judges did encourage her, hey, don't worry about the words, don't worry about that, just push through. And she actually killed it. Like, she did better than the rest of the girls. So I think this was something that really frustrated the judges and Tyra in particular. After she completed that mini challenge, she was like walking back and was like, oh, more and more each day, and kind of saying stuff under her breath. And I think that did not sit well with Tyra and the judges. At elimination, it was her and another contestant that were leaving. And the other contestant was very visibly upset, crying, emotional. And then when Tiffany was giving her hugs and saying her goodbye, she was like, oh, don't cry for me. It's okay. It's all right. And more lackadaisical about it, if that's the right word. So as they were finishing up saying their goodbyes, Tyra called back Rebecca, who was the other contestant that was eliminated, and Tiffany, and commended Rebecca for showing emotion and showing that, hey, I can tell you really have a passion for this. I can tell that you really wanted this. And then she transitioned with, I am extremely disappointed in you, Tiffany. Don't you know you have the possibility to win this competition? When my mother yells at me like this, it's because she loves me. Learn from this. Take responsibility for yourself. And the Oscar goes to me. Let's take a moment to look at that iconically problematic moment together.
Oh, Tyra's getting some side eye. Her hair back then, that red. Amazing. Mm-mm.
That's when you know something's coming, because usually after the girl or girls are eliminated, they give their goodbyes, say, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much. Like, this experience has been amazing for me. Like, so thank you, Tyra. And then they walk away, and then they have the montage of them packing up. But Miss Banks said, hold on.
You've been through anger management. You've been through your grandmother getting her lights turned off to buy you a swimsuit for this competition. And you go over there and you joke and you laugh.
I don't, why did she have to like throw all of that struggle like back in her face? Like she's trying to like just get something out of her because she was so chill about the whole elimination thing, which I don't think she was. She was just like, well, we'll see.
This is serious to this girls. And this should be serious to you.
Looks can be deceiving. I'm hurt. I am.
See?
But I can't change it, Tyra. I've been...
You can't change what?
I'm sick of crying about stuff that I cannot change. I'm sick of being disappointed. I'm sick of all of it. I'm not...
I ain't sick of being disappointed.
Honestly, I am.
No, you're not. If you were sick of being disappointed, you would stand up and you would take control of your destiny. Do you know that you have a possibility to win? Do you know that all of America is rooting for you? Do you know that? And then you come in here and you treat this like a joke? You come in here and look at that and say, I can't read that. You read 10 times better than half of those girls over there.
Yeah, you too.
And you
chiming in the back, you did.
I don't have a bad attitude. Maybe I am angry inside. I've been through stuff, so I'm angry.
Yeah.
But it's not, be quiet. But everybody
Be quiet.
That's what it's wrong to be. But you're not.
Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yelled at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
How dare
Learn
you?
something from this. You go to bed at night, you lay and you take responsibility for yourself. Because nobody's going to take responsibility for you. You rolling your eyes when you act like this because you've heard it all before. You've heard it all before. You don't know where the hell I come from. You have no idea what I've been through. But I'm not a victim. I grow from it and I learn. Take responsibility for yourself.
Woo! Let me know your thoughts and feels down below after watching that. I don't think Tyra was wrong in what she was saying. I think the delivery was, and the timing was. You know, you can kind of see the contestant kind of pull away or start to retreat, and you can tell like, okay, their heart's not in it anymore, or they lost the motivation. And specifically with Tiffany, because I think she was amazing in just sharing what she's been through and just being so open. So I don't like how that was like thrown back in her face, because she is clearly still vulnerable. She's in a vulnerable situation just in life. And now with all of that, she's tossed into this other vulnerable situation, and she has that unique lived experience and she has struggles. And I don't like how Tyra chose that moment to let her have it. And then you have like the judges in the background like, she's right, you're right, you did have that chance. What I would have loved to see is, because Tyra does these like little like one-on-ones like throughout different seasons, and it's kind of sit down, real talk kind of situations, and then just check in. Maybe they do that. Maybe it's behind the scenes, because I don't know. I'm not there, so I don't know. But have those moments where, you know, like, hey, mental health wise, like, how are you? Like, where are you at right now? Like, what's going on? Like, and just that check-in, I think, would do so much. And it would be great as an audience if we could see that, hey, there is care for these girls emotionally, mentally, because this is a very heavy situation to be in, and to be in it when you're still struggling through something. So I think just the whole delivery, time and place, like it just was not it. It was not it.
You have such a beautiful strength. And for somebody to get up and be so sick, but still to perform, that's a survivor. I'm a survivor. And Jocelyn, you'll be able to survive this. Oh my God.
What? Why did she frame it, Tyra? Why did she frame it like, we appreciate you pushing it through? Like, yes, you can do anything. No, you're gonna survive after this. I'm sending you home. So that's so messed up. That is so messed up. Not the positive framing of an elimination. Not cute, not fierce. It's not fierce. So this is one of the photo shoots that costume different ethnicities and races. Let's take a look.
You're going to be Native American, Brittany, an African American woman, Kenya, Korean, Kaylin, Michelle, an Eskimo woman. Naima's going to be an Icelandic Scandinavian. Tatiana, a biracial woman. Yubi, Swedish milkmaid. Becca, really dark, tanned, Italian Sicilian woman. And Noelle, we're making you into a traditionally African woman with a head wrap and everything.
With a head wrap and everything.
I don't know if this is racist, but it don't feel right.
This type of creativity is highly offensive and is rooted in racism and dehumanization. Blackface promotes stereotypes about Black people and is extremely harmful. I call it an epic fail. And due to the controversy, you can't even see these seasons on streaming. So when you go and you search America's Next Top Model, and you can kind of get to the homepage where you find the different seasons and episodes, you will not find this. So I say this is a great job to Hulu and other streaming platforms for taking a stance and removing it. It's also harmful because it's really promoting the idea that a race or ethnic background is a costume that can just be casually put on for a photo or casually put on for an event. That is not the case, and it shouldn't be promoted as such. So we've been discussing the problematic elements that the show wanted us to see as the audience. But what about behind the scenes? What about after the show? I want the tea. Sippy, sippy. Remember that $100,000 contract with CoverGirl Cosmetics? Where is it? Because Adrianne Curry didn't get it. In an Us Weekly article featured on Yahoo Entertainment, Adrianne Curry claims that she got paid $0 after winning the first season of America's Next Top Model. There was no money in my win. I got a title. Something ain't right. Another problematic moment that happened behind the scenes and after airing is when America's Next Top Model Cycle 17 All-Star winner Angela had her title revoked. This was due to producers discovering that she briefly worked as an S-worker following her previous appearance on the show. Angela argues that the producers knew about this and it wasn't something that she chose to do and that it was by force. So the fact that she was able to be on the show, film, get judged, and ultimately win, and then have her title stripped away seemed absolutely bananas. So while these problematic moments originally aired years ago, there was something that happened in 2020 where we were kind of binge watching things and staying home, and there was a resurgence of America's Next Top Model viewership, and the controversial moments, the unhinged moments, the problematic moments, it did not age well. We had plenty of time to go back and watch every season of America's Next Top Model and get on social media and talk about it. Through social media platforms, we were able to voice how we feel about these problematic moments and that it is absolutely not okay. It did not age well, and you need to hold yourself accountable, Miss Banks. Tyra Banks received a lot of backlash for what took place on screen and behind the scenes during America's Next Top Model, and we wanted answers. How could you allow all of these traumatic things to happen to your contestants? Tyra Banks responded on Twitter stating, "I agree with you that those were some really off choices." Since then, Tyra Banks has went on to expand her business ventures, creating hot ice cream brand Smize and Dream. And now here we are in 2026 with the much anticipated release of the Netflix documentary Reality Check: Inside America's Next Top Model, a 3-part docuseries which will arrive February 16th, 2026. Later on in March, E! is airing an ANTM deep dive as part of their Dirty Rotten Scandal series. Was America's Next Top Model problematic and toxic? Yes. Was it also groundbreaking and iconic? Also yes. I think America's Next Top Model is a reflection of society at the time. Beautiful, ambitious, iconic, yet flawed.
Deeply flawed.
If you watched America's Next Top Model during its original airing or in the 2020 resurgence or later or even both, let me know down in the comments below what some of your standout moments were, and let me know what your thoughts are on the 2026 resurgence of America's Next Top Model. Are you going to be tuning in for either one of the docuseries? Please let me know. I definitely will be tuning in. Let me know down below if you would like me to recap and share my thoughts about either of the series as well. If this was a dose of nostalgia and a shock of reality, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the community. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, go ahead and hit subscribe or give me your suggestions of other content I should do in the future. I really appreciate you joining me today. Your time, same internet. I'll see you in my next video.